Southern Railfan is the place for amazing videos of all types of trains. Southern Railfan, subscribe today.
Okie dokie, in this video we're going to talk about my new acquisition, a regular layout. This is my shelf layout and I've shown it in a couple of videos. Pretty small, really nothing much to it there. Most expensive thing about it was the backdrop. Well, I have purchased a used full size, I guess you could call it full size layout. Anyway, it's a where I can watch the train go around and around. This one I just have to go back and forth, and it gets old after a while, short while. Alrighty, let's step out into the big part of the garage and I'll show you what I got. Okie dokie, here we go. It is two 4x8 sheets of cabinet grade plywood, and they're actually turned the wrong way. If I turn this table around and back it in beside this one, that's where the bridges come together and the layout comes together. We'll take a little bit of closer look. It has a staging yard here. It's HO, all Atlas Code 83 track. It's wired for DCC, and each switch has a turtle or tortoise turtle. I got myself tickled. A tortoise slow motion switch. This is a Walthers DCC turntable, which is pretty cool. And I want to go into a little bit of the story about getting this layout. Okie dokie, I've been wanting a layout. I keep trying to struggle with what I'm trying to say with full size. A layout to where the trains run around. And I knew basically what I wanted to be able to run some trains. I don't have a whole lot of trains, but be able to run some trains. And I had the idea, I had what scale, and I had the room, but I was missing, what is it I needed to, oh yeah, money. I had no money. So I knew what I had to do was try to find a used layout, a quality used layout with within the price range that I could afford. Plus, I was hoping that it would come with some accessories and stuff that I wasn't necessarily going to use, that I could sell off to kind of recoup some of my money. And I know some of you guys that have been watching the channel for a while know that my parents passed away last year. And after several years of me and my wife taking care of them, and our savings and was just gone, which I'm not complaining about that at all. I just, as far as going out and spending thousands of dollars on trying to build a layout, I just couldn't do that. So I set out to find what I needed. And I mean, I actually had a plan. Again, some of you guys that have watched the channel for a while, me and plan really don't fit in the same sentence, but I actually wrote down, this is what I'm looking for. I needed something that I could transport on my little trailer. I have a little trailer that I pull behind the Train Tracker 2000. And speaking of Train Tracker 2000, it had to be close enough that the Train Tracker 2000 would make it there and back, which is also most of the time is a gamble. And like I said, I needed the scale that I needed, but I needed something that I could recoup some money, because I didn't want to go invest thousands of dollars in something and then bring it back to the house and my wife see what I bought and then her kill me and eat me. So that wasn't going to work. So I found this one. This layout has been professionally built, and I think, he didn't go into great detail, but I think it was built to go to shows, because the two halves actually kind of folded down, and there was like a little trailer system he'd built to pull it around. But like I said, it's all wired up for DCC, has a control board or control panel. I'll show you that in just a minute. And it's basically plug and play. I mean, there's a drop cord somewhere right there that you plug in, and all the electronics and power supplies and stuff are underneath the table. Now, the only thing I'm going to change about it is, you know, like I said, it butts up against each other, but that makes a 8-foot by 16-foot. Is that right? No, it makes an 8x8 big square. And, you know, I don't have go-go gadget arms. I can't reach over in the middle of something and work on it, and I'm too old and fat to crawl around underneath something. So what I'm going to do is extend the bridges on it and give me a little 2-foot area in between it to work on it. Now, let me show you some cool things about this one. Okie dokie, it came with some older locomotives. Those are, I think they're called RDC. I know they're called Bud cars, but I think they're called RDC Bud cars. So there's some things. I'm going to do steam era, so some of the CSX and some of the newer diesel stuff I'm going to sell off. Let me spin around real quick and make you sick on your stomach trying to watch this. There's some other freight cars that I'm going to sell off to help recoup some of my money. I've got all of that turntable, all of that roundhouse. I just have to put it together. I had to take it off of the layout because I knew it would fly off on the interstate trying to come back. And this is some of the cars that came with the layout. And they were some vintage train sets. I was able to sell those off and recuperate some of the cost. This is controlled by Digitrax DCC system. And I know I'm kind of running you all over the place, but down there is the control board with all these switches for the tortoise switches. Let me see if I can get under here. If you can see, there's some of the controls. Back there's one of the tortoise switches, tortoise machines that control the switches. And here is the control for the Walthers DCC turntable. So I won't get into how much money I paid for it, but the stuff that I have sold off so far has paid for my initial cost, plus you know, the fuel that I had to spend in the Train Tracker 2000 to get down there. Oh, one other thing, let me shimmy over here real quick and show you the buildings that came with it. This is part of the turntable. There's the buildings. Already had the trees in hopes that I would get a layout eventually. And there's some miscellaneous stuff here that belongs to the layout. There's another plug for the Digitrax. So if you're wanting to get a layout going and you've got the same budget that I do, this is the way to go. And if you can find something close to you, because they're impossible to ship. Well, I mean, not impossible. I guess if you got enough money, you can have anything happen. But if you can go get something yourself, the work, the labor is already in it, but you have to make sure that it's quality stuff. I looked at some stuff on Facebook Marketplace, looked at some stuff on eBay, looked at some stuff on Craigslist, Craigslist has gone downhill. It's just not what it used to be. And some of the stuff was just ridiculous. I mean, it just looked crazy. You could tell it was old steel track, you know, and people think model trains is a gold mine. You know, they've got a 4x8 layout that's kind of goofy looking with some oddball scenery and they're wanting, you know, $3,000 for it. That's just crazy. But you can, if you you know, do your due diligence and keep looking and pace yourself, you can come across something like I've got here. And this was the only way I would ever be able to have my own decent layout, is to do it this way. So what I'm going to do is you can see the scenery here. No, you can't, because there is none. Over here, there's a little bit of scenery, but you know, along with my live action, as Jawtooth calls it, my real train videos, I'm going to take you guys along with scenery, getting this thing put together, doing any kind of modifications that I need to, and then share operating with you guys. It's going to be, like I said before, it's going to be separate videos. Any of the model train stuff I'm going to do is going to be on a separate video, same channel, but separate video. That way, you know, if you're just into the real trains, you don't have to suffer through me babbling about model trains. And if you don't like a big long-haired hairy guy out beside the railroad track, you can watch the models. And if you don't like either one of those, then you're probably not even watching this one. So anyway, that's where I'm at right now. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to try to give an update video once every couple of days or so, at least once a week. And it's going to be steam era, probably say 1945 to 1955, maybe as far out as 60. I want to primarily run steam, but I would like to introduce some of the first FT and EMD diesels in with it there. So I hope you guys join along with me, and we can all enjoy this together. Okie doke. We'll see you guys next time.